Welcome back to another edition of Seahawk Central Sports. I'm Ben Tyson, sitting alongside Lucas Haskins.
This week, Ben and I will discuss our early thoughts on the college basketball season, both in the CAA and in the ACC. And after some news and highlights, we have an interview planned with UNCW's newest athletic director, Jimmy Bass.
The UNC Wilmington women's basketball team rallied back to defeat conference foe Hofstra this past Sunday, 70-66. UNCW scored 8 of the final 9 points in the game. This is their third straight victory as the team improved to 12-4 overall and an impressive 4-1 in conference play. Junior forward Kristen Hanser led the way, posting a double-double with 24 points and 10 rebounds. Also providing strong play was senior big Martha White, who added 16 points and 10 boards of her own. The Seahawks look to continue their hot ways with a game tonight versus CAA opponent Delaware in Trask Coliseum.
The Seahawks swimming and diving teams got back on track with the dual meet sweep of host College of Charleston at the Stern Aquatic Center. UNCW totaled 21 event wins this past Saturday and snapped a pair of 2 meet losing streaks. The women improved to 10-3 with a convincing 197-97 win, while the men upped their mark to 7-4 following a close 159.5 to 138.5 victory. The Seahawks were led by Stephanie Florenza and Justin Etheridge, who both posted 2 wins apiece. Florenza won the 100 and 200 backstrokes, while Etheridge collected wins in the 200 butterfly and 200 IM. The Seahawks return to the Seahawk Natatorium on January 22nd when they host South Carolina at 2 p.m.
Track and field star senior Will Zaoradny set a school record in the 1,000 meters, while teammates Nick Pederzoli and Justin Previtt added wins in the 500 meters and long jump to lead UNCW at the Navy Invitational on Saturday. The men's team finished second only to Navy, while the women's team placed 6th. Zaoradny finished in third place, but his time of 2 minutes 26 seconds 74 tenths broke UNCW's previous record held by Thomas Coughlin, not the Giants coach, in 1996. Zaoradny adds this record to his already impressive resume, as he also holds the records for the indoor 600 and 800 meters. The Seahawks continue their indoor season on January 22nd at the Appalachian State Open in Boone, North Carolina.
Ben, I'm glad you cleared that up, so no one really thought Tom Coughlin was running track here 14 years ago. The UNCW men's tennis team defeated Davidson before losing to North Carolina State Saturday in Raleigh at Eisenhower Tennis Center. Costa Blanc led the way for the Seahawks by beating Chris Mark 6-3, 6-4. Rafael Aida followed by defeating Ari Hefter 3-6, 6-4, and 7-5. Later that night, the Wolfpack took advantage of the home court advantage by winning in straight sets. The Seahawks face North Florida in Wilmington on February 4th at 1 p.m.
What was that guy's name? Chris Mark? That guy needs to get a last name. The UNCW Women's Club volleyball team is looking for players for the spring 2011 semester. Tryouts will be held on Saturday, January 22nd and Sunday, January 23rd from 4 to 8 p.m. in the Rec Center on the far right court, which is court 3. So go out there if you're interested in playing some volleyball.
The UNCW men's basketball team went 6-4 over winter break with wins over ACC opponent Wake Forest, Big South foe Radford, as well as the Mid-American Conference's Toledo Rockets and the College of William & Mary. The other 2 wins were against conference victories against Georgia State and Delaware. However, the Seahawks also lost out-of-conference games to Campbell and Illinois State, along with 2 conference matches, one against George Mason and the other against James Madison. The team averaged 62.8 points per game and shot 43% from the field over the break. The next men's home game is this Saturday at 9 against Towson. All students who get early tickets from the Fisher Center are invited to Trask Coliseum at 7:30 before the game starts for free pizza and drinks, care of Jimmy Bass and the athletic department. And speaking of home men's basketball games, Ben was at the most recent home game Wednesday, January 12th against Delaware. Here he is with those highlights.
Coming up, I will sit down with new Seahawk Athletic Director Jimmy Bass.
After that, Ben and I will debate some current sports topics.
Stay tuned. Seahawk Central Sports is going to be right back. Delaware coach Monte Ross walked into Trask Coliseum with his head held high because his Blue Hens had equaled their win total of 7 games from last season and only 14 games this year. However, they were 0-2 on the road in conference games and facing a tough Seahawk opponent that is 3-1 in home games that were decided in the last second or in overtime. But enough about that. Let's get to the highlights.
And the highlights were all UNCW. Dante Morales started things off right for the Seahawks with a three-pointer 8 seconds into the game. 5 minutes later, Ahmad Grant blocks Jawan Carter's three-point attempt, then runs the length of the floor and slam jam. Thank you, ma'am. Then, with a little over 12 minutes remaining in the first, Matt Wilson gets the ball in the paint, drains a nifty Magic Johnson-esque hook shot there. Still in the first, Tanner Milson inbounds to Trevor DeLoach, gets it back, shakes the defender, and nails the jump shot. Then, following the air ball by Jamel Higgins of Delaware, Chad Tomko runs the fast break, stops at the top of the key, pops it open, and drains the three-pointer. There you see that to make it 27-10. All Seahawks in the first half. To the second half we go. With the game almost out of reach, Keith Riddleman uses his height to lay the ball up and over the defender in the paint. Final score, UNCW 76, Delaware 53. Tomko and Coach Pearson spoke after the game.
But second half, I just let the game come to me, just ran off the screens, got open shots, and just got to hit them. I mean, Tanner did a good job of finding people.
Ahmad Grant, might be one of the better defensive efforts I've seen. He did a good job on Carter of limiting his touches. I mean, he's a tough matchup for anybody because he can score off the dribble.
The Seahawks have proven they can win at home this season, going 6-2 in Trask Coliseum. I'm Ben Tyson, Seahawks Central Sports, Teal TV.
Hi, welcome back to Seahawks Central Sports. I'm Ben Tyson, sitting alongside new UNCW Athletics Director, Mr. Jimmy Bass. Mr. Bass has spent the last 3 years as Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Operations at East Carolina. He also spent time at Mississippi State, North Carolina State, Pittsburgh, Davidson, and had a previous job here at UNCW. So, Mr. Bass, with that kind of experience and being a former UNCW alumni, how has the school changed since that time?
Ben, it's grown tremendously. It's a wonderful asset here in the greater Wilmington community, and certainly the physical plant here at UNCW has grown. It's a beautiful campus with great buildings, uniform architectural design, and I think that's one of the real drawing points when we're recruiting students, not only student athletes, but certainly students who come and visit the campus. It's a beautiful campus, and all of our alumni seem to be very, very proud of it.
Yes, sir. You were formerly the first full-time athletics fundraiser here at UNCW. What lessons did you learn then about fundraising that you still use today?
Well, it's a people business, and again, Wilmington is a special community. To me, it's a small town, and in small towns, people know each other. The key to fundraising, the first thing that we all learn is people give to people, and I think that's especially important here in a unique community like Wilmington, that you've got to build relationships, you've got to maintain relationships, and you know, the variable now that's changing is the fact that we've got lots of folks that are retiring here from different parts of the United States, and we've got to try to make those folks feel like they're an important part of the community also.
The hiring of Buzz Peterson, which was done by the previous athletics director, was done through UNC System Connections. Do you find those connections useful when finding sponsors, or will you find those useful when hiring future coaches possibly?
Not really. I think you've got to create a program that's unique to your own institution. We are evaluating every phase of our external program, our fundraising through the Seahawk Club. We've got to do a better job handling our multimedia rights. And we are having conversations with Learfield Sports right now. We're having conversations with IMG College, which used to be ISP, about the possibility of their handling all of our marketing, our promotions, our coaches, radio shows, our television shows, any sponsorships that we engage in. And you know, we've got to do a much better job generating revenue from that particular phase of our operation.
How close are those to being completed?
We're still negotiating. It's you know, because we most of the programs that they're engaged with, ISP or IMG College Sports is engaged with about 90 universities and entities and associations, and most of the schools have football, and so we're pushing on them. We think we've got a unique product here, even without football, an untapped corporate community that wants to again be engaged with Seahawk athletics. So we think we've got a good product.
Speaking of football, what is the possibility that UNCW will have a team? Is there a time frame? Is there a cost frame?
I'll give you an example. Chancellor DePaulo told me a story recently that she had visited with the UNC Charlotte Chancellor a year or two ago. They were talking about, obviously, Charlotte starting football, and the Chancellor said Charlotte said they made a commitment to upgrade and shore up their existing programs with scholarships and facilities and operating budgets, and then they would start football. And Chancellor DiPaolo asked how long did that take, and the Charlotte Chancellor answered 15 years. So we've got a lot of work to do to take care of the programs. We've got to bring them up to speed from a funding standpoint, not only in the Colonial Athletic Association, but nationally. However, we will probably engage in a feasibility study sometime in 2011 that'll help us decide the future of football here at UNCW.
My next question is, have we hired a compliance director yet? I remember when the former athletics director was in office that that position was vacant. Is it still?
Yeah, no, we've, Sandy Williford, who was our assistant athletic director for academic services, has moved over into that position, and we're in the process right now of hiring a new assistant athletic director for student athlete academic services. So we have filled the compliance job. Sandy does a wonderful job, and that's a very complicated segment of our jobs is compliance and rules education, and she does a really, really good job.
Glad to hear it. Okay, you were recently hired as the athletics director, and soon we will be having a new chancellor. Are you a member of the chancellor's search committee?
No, but we have gotten lots of feedback from the trustees who are on that committee, and every time they have a public gathering to seek input on qualities and who and what the new chancellor should be like, there is always feedback that every constituent, every phase of the UNCW community wants the new chancellor to know that athletics is important to them. So I'm very happy about that.
Yes, sir. That's glad to hear. All right, moving on to UNCW basketball. Does the future of the UNCW basketball schedule include potential series, perhaps a home-and-home series with in-state rivals such as East Carolina, North Carolina State, maybe even other ACC teams like Carolina or Duke?
It's very difficult to get any of the BCS programs, the ACC, the Southeastern Conference, to want to come play on an even one-for-one basis. We are exploring the possibility of restarting the East Carolina series. I know Terry Holland and I, the East Carolina athletic director, have had conversations, and if we can't get Buzz Peterson and Jeff Lebo together to play each other, you know, both former Tar Heels, we are probably in trouble. But I'm working very closely with Buzz on scheduling, and we hope to be able to attract some top name and top line collegiate programs to come to UNCW. All
right. One last final question also about UNC Wilmington. This Friday night, this Saturday night, the Seahawks play Towson, the Towson Tigers at 9 o'clock at home in Trask Coliseum. Everyone come out and see it. You're offering a special deal to students who get their tickets early. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to work really hard. Trask traditionally has been a very difficult place to play, principally because of our students. They come, they enjoy it, they wear teal, they make noise, and they create it and make it a very difficult environment for our visitors. We're working with the students, and we're trying to encourage them, try to educate them where they can pick up their complimentary tickets if they're full-time students. And those who pick up tickets will be able to come over to Hanover Hall beginning at 7:30. A game tip-offs at 9 o'clock. It's a regional television game Saturday against Towson, and we're going to feed them pizza and soft drinks and try to start up the entertainment at 7:30 and encourage the students to come out. And honestly, we're trying to get them accustomed to picking up their tickets early, because a homecoming game in February we anticipate being a sellout, so there's a very good possibility it's only going to be like 1,200 tickets for students. So we want students to get in the habit of getting their tickets early in advance.
Well, I was talking to my co-host Lucas earlier today, and he told me that in his 5 years here, he has never heard of any kind of promotional giveaway, anything like that. So I think it's a great idea, very innovative. And I would like to thank Mr. Bass for his time. Thank you, Mr. Bass.
Thank you, Ben.
Very nice to meet him. He's kind of a big deal. So if you see him on campus, say hey. When Lucas and I return, we'll debate some current sports topics for the upcoming week.